Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Warren Canonigo, and you're watching my life icons. Today's episode is definitely long overdue because I've been wanting to feature and introduce this person in my life to you, my dear subscribers, but the circumstances did not really cooperate. But I'm just really happy that we're finally doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, my Bohol housemate, your boy next door, and someone who have made a name for himself in Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jefferson Maleza. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Sir Warren. What an opening. You made me so uncomfortable with that opening, but thank you.
Wow, you're always welcome, and thank you very much for making the time to be with me today. How's the weather in Singapore?
Today it's a little gloomy. I should say it's about to rain. But overall, I think it's quite fine. I mean, in Singapore, the weather is always humid and all that. It just so happened that November to February, it's like a wet season here. But nonetheless, I'm quite excited to be here with you. It's been a while. I have not seen you for like ages. So let's get it on.
Talking about not seeing me for ages, what was your initial reaction when you received a chat from me inviting you to guest in my vlog? How did you
I
feel?
was like,
Running in your mind?
I was really surprised among all the people. I can't believe that you would invite me. But at the same time, I was really like shy and hesitant to do it. I think I told you twice or three times, no, I don't think I have a story to tell. All right. But at the same time, I'm flattered. I mean, it's been a while. So, yeah.
Yes, Jeff, your yes was really the sweetest because you kept on saying no, but finally I felt so victorious because we're doing.
Because you made me feel so guilty. You asked me that, can you do this for me, Jeff, as a birthday gift? All right, here we go. My birthday present to you.
And not only a birthday present, but also a pasalubong from Singapore. You don't have to bring a pasalubong anymore, and an advanced Christmas gift, definitely.
All right.
My subscribers and viewers, the reason why we know each other is because when I was still teaching at University of Bohol, Jeff was also a nursing student at that time, and we were actually housemates. Speaking of which, Jeff, what was the feeling? And I didn't have the chance to ask you this one when we were still housemates in Bohol. How does it feel to have one of your English teachers as your housemate?
Okay, baka mamawar, reminiscing the old days, I should say it was really a fun experience for me. I mean, in school, we are very serious. I should say I look up to you. You're one of the best English teachers who have that I've taught me and the rest of my schoolmates. And at the same time, at the boarding house, it's all fun, nothing but fun. We get to tease each other, not just me, but my Yang, Aaron, Christelle, and all that. Yeah, I miss that a lot. I miss you a lot.
Miss you too, Jeff. And I agree with you. My years in Bohol were some of the best chapters of my life. It gave me really good memories. And to return the compliment, it's a good thing that you were also good in my subject. You were good in English. So I don't have to really scold you in the boarding house
I
or
don't think so.
yes, you may not be perfect. There's no one's perfect, but you did really, really well in my subject. So thank you very much. But then it had to end because I needed to go back to Cebu to venture into new things. And that's when I learned that you stop college education, you stop being a nursing student after your second year, after you finish your second year term, like that, after finishing
Oh,
fourth
that was on my third year.
on your third year. What was the reason why you needed to stop?
There are quite a lot of factors, I should say, that made me decide to stop studying. But one of it, it's I got influenced by some of my friends. I keep going to Cebu at that time. I kind of like the life and the fun that it brought to me at that moment. And then most of my friends are also based in Cebu at the time, so I just decided to stop studying. But another factor would be, I should say, financial. I remember at that point in time, the tuition fee is about to increase. I, you know, you know that um, I am being supported by my relatives abroad. So it kind of like give me an excuse to, just stop studying for a while. And then I went into a contact center. I made a decision to stop and just told myself that I will just be working for a year. But actually, it ended up me working for 2 years. My mom was kind of sad of that decision of me. And I realized at that point in time, I was actually telling myself that, oh, there's no point of like going back to school or finishing my studies because working at in a call center, right? That's, I mean, the financial reward is actually quite good until such time that the curriculum is about to change. There was a news that it's either nursing would be a 5-year course or there will be a new subjects, this and that. And if I will not have to continue my studies and later on I decide to go back, then I have to go back to first year.
Mhm.
So after 2 years, I decided to go back to school, finish my studies. I went back to Bohol, and there, um, I think even if I stopped for 2 years, I didn't regret that decision. Ultimately, I managed to finish my studies. I passed the board exam. It was like a wish of my mom that you just have to go back to school, and after you finish your school you can do whatever you want, and it's more of like a gift. And I should say that education is something that you can really bring along with you. It's an advantage, especially if you try to work abroad. So yeah.
I'm sure, Jeff, you did not really regret all your decisions because when you made them, you really followed your heart. And I'm sure that you had a blast in your call center experience for 2 years. I'm sure of that because I also came from that industry and I learned a lot and it really made me better personally and professionally. Speaking of which,
I agree.
development, what were the things that you have realized or learned having worked in the contact industry for 2 consecutive years?
At first, I should say that it was more about playing or having fun. But later on, I realized that the ultimate learning um, was becoming more independent. I learned to support myself. I learned to, at the same time, support my family at the time, even if it was a short period. Um, at the same time, I gained a lot of new friends. I learned to be more sociable. I learned to be adaptable, and to be more patient at the same because in a contact center it's not an easy job. Being a frontline, you get to receive a lot of irate uh, callers and customers, so you have to be strong, and that's something that I learned out from that 2 years experience in the contact center before I went back to school.
And because of those things, I am sure when you went back to school, you became a better nursing student, I should say.
I should say.
What happened after passing the nursing exam?
Okay, after passing the board exam, I took a short break. I think I deserve it because after graduation, I remember I went into a 2 month intensive review and then took the board exam. I took a 2 month break. And after that, I went back into the call center industry. When you have to take the board exam, it's all about yourself. And you don't want to disappoint yourself as well as your family and your relatives who are rooting for you and expecting that, you pass the board. I think I felt at that time that it would be very embarrassing if I would not be able to prove myself and give them that reward. for supporting my studies. But after I go back to the call center, Sir Warren, I was actually, I also volunteered in one of the hospitals in Cebu City. So I was juggling work at the same time, uh, volunteering for as a nurse, so that I would also gain or have that experience.
Ah, okay. So the reason why you were really struggling so hard to really juggle those two, it's because you needed a certification of your experience working in a hospital, which is definitely a major requirement if you want to work in hospitals outside the country in a different.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. So at that time, I was really thinking already of gaining the experience and hopefully make use of the profession or the education that I've finished. Right. So I volunteered, maybe have that 1 or 2 years experience, and then take the NCLEX or the U.S. Nursing Board examination. That was already my goal. It's just that things happen for a reason. It did not materialize. I still ended up in the contact center. Another factor, I should say, I think a lot of nurses can relate to this. Um, it's a fact that there are a lot of nurses working in the call center, right? But I would like to believe that majority of us would really like to pursue our profession, so that um, it's either we can serve the country or go abroad for a greener pasture. You
mhm.
studied for 4 years for that. Why not make use of it? But the sad reality in the Philippines is that when you work in a hospital, just to gain that experience, you are not well compensated.
You mentioned,
So that's why when
sorry.
it comes to salary, you get what I mean. You're not well compensated. Of course, a lot of us are not just supporting ourselves. We also, we after college or after graduating, we would like to work to be able to support our family, especially if we have siblings who are also studying at the same.
So you told me earlier that you did not have really a chance to be employed as a full-time nurse because you're busy
Yep.
in the call center and gaining experience as a volunteer nurse. Uh,
Yes.
and you have not even started also processing papers, processing like application employment papers for abroad. You have not started it. You have not really started.
I have not started, but the reason I was also interested of pursuing my career profession, it's because when I was working in a call center that time, I was handling. I was part of a medical campaign, so it's in relation to my studies or my knowledge in nursing. So it's not much of an adjustment to me. But after that experience, I also resigned and then applied for another call center job from another company. So that's where everything has changed. It wasn't really a plan that I will relocate and work in Singapore. As what I was saying earlier, things happen for a reason. Leave with no regrets. What happened was that when I was a team lead, the company actually made a decision to downsize its manpower. Sadly, I was part of those who got retrenched. If I remember, it was around this time, December. And then me and my friends, we already booked a ticket to Singapore a few months back. So it was March of 2014. And then I got retrenched December of 2013.
What was the
At
reason?
that point in time,
What was the reason why you booked a ticket for Singapore at that time?
it was more of like a group or friend, a group vacation with my friends.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because we have a common friend who is also based in Singapore, so he invited us to come over, visit, and then go around, things like that. So it was just really a holiday or a vacation supposedly. So we still proceeded with the trip. I took the risk not to apply for a job in between December to March, given that if I would find a new job, I would still end up resigning. If I cannot resign, I will be on AWOL. So something that I don't want to happen because that would, affect my employment history. So yeah, I just have to wait and took the risk. And then when we came over to Singapore, we were on a 2 week holiday. And after vacation, my friends went back to Cebu, but I decided to stay back and then try to apply for a job. So I
Mhm.
was like job hunting at the same time while I was in Singapore.
You started, of course, Jeff, with entry-level positions. What do you think are the highlights in your resume that impressed your bosses there and, of course, became the reasons why you were promoted as now a manager or at least one of the managers? What do you think are the highlights?
Right now, being a manager, this is my second company in Singapore. But going back to when I was just starting, I think the highlight is the experience that I gained from the Philippines. Um, Singaporeans at that time were quite impressed with your experience, how patient you are, the way you communicate, things like that. So I think that was the advantage when I was like looking for a job in Singapore, and of course being a degree holder. Because in Singapore, the education is actually quite expensive, and not everyone is privileged enough to really have a degree. And then after which, I moved into the insurance industry, um, still as an agent. Um, I think it's more of really being dedicated with your job, put your passion into it, and your bosses would ultimately notice that. And later on, if there's an opportunity for you to move up, then it will be yours. I know Singapore is like a multiracial country. Um, it's very diverse. It really promotes inclusivity. So, and most of the people in my workplace, they can communicate very well. I mean, some it's more of like putting across a message and you being able to grasp and then quickly understand. I think yeah, there is no such thing as language barrier. Well, the main language in Singapore is Chinese, but most of the locals here are quite conversant in English as well.
Yeah.
And then um, I have quite a number of colleagues who are Malaysians, Indians, Filipinos. I get to work with Caucasian bosses as well.
It's great to hear that one, Jeff, and it's really one of the testaments that the world is really getting borderless. By the way, Jeff, do you think rice is one of the staple foods of Singapore? In your opinion?
In my opinion, no.
Ah,
Um, if I may continue, most of the locals here, right, they're more into noodles than rice. It's rice is like while chicken rice is quite popular, but it's popular because Singapore is like a tourist destination, so a lot of tourists would have to try that. But locals are more into noodles. If they're more into uh, fried Hokkien mee, char kway teow. These are like the famous stir fried noodle. They also have this laksa. It's like flavored noodle soup.
since I'm a foodie, I'm not really excited to be there with you in Singapore to taste those dishes. Hopefully
And
soon.
I forgot one thing. You should try the chili crab. I think they have the best chili crab in the world. So when you come over, I'll go out and bring you over to have chili crab. Let me know what flavor would you like to have? Chili sauce, pepper, um, what else? Salted egg.
So in terms of diet, you're still very, very much Filipino. And it's a good thing that all over the world, there are shops where you can buy Filipino food products.
We have that too in Singapore, and especially during this pandemic, it gives you time to prepare a meal for yourself because we are like working from home, and yeah, it's still a Filipino food, adobo. the
Right. I'm not saying shocked because I'm really happy to know that. Now, since I can say you're really very comfortable with where you are right now. Do you still see yourself still in Singapore 5 years from now?
I don't really know what the future holds, Sir Warren, honestly, but I'm quite contented being here with my current role with the company that I'm working with. So, um, if I won't relocate somewhere else, definitely I would still be in Singapore.
Wow. That's so exciting, Jeff. And I really hope that whatever your heart wants or whatever makes you happy will definitely come into reality. And in the meantime, Singapore is your comfort zone, and I'm happy to know that you are also happy. And wherever the future leads you, I really hope that you will take care of yourself always. And I hope to see you soon in Singapore. I really want to be there for, let's say, a week or 2 weeks. And thank you for welcoming me.
Ah, dali, dali. Pas, pas.
Speaking of visits, so tell
Okay.
me, what are some of the tourist spots or beautiful places in Singapore that you would bring me if I get there?
Are you the kind of person who loves nature or adventure, or you're okay with anything?
I hate adventures. I just want to eat in a restaurant,
A different kind of
or
adventure,
shop
maybe.
in a mall.
Um, Sir Warren, Singapore being like a small state um, country, it's an island with just like about 5 million plus population. Going from east to west will just take you about an hour. That's how small a country it is. It does not have more of like nature when we talk about like uh, chocolate hills, things like that. We don't have that. But of course, when you come and visit here, there's still, I mean, Singapore still has a lot of places to offer. Perhaps I could bring you over to Marina Bay Sands. If you want to see the whole Singapore, I can bring you to the Sky Park Observatory deck. Okay, I think that's the best place to see the entire Singapore. It's not just definitely Singapore is like a cosmopolitan city, so they are more into infrastructure. So if you want to see a lot of tall buildings, skyscrapers, so we
Yeah,
have that here,
that's great.
and and then I can bring you over to Universal Studios. You know, we also have Southeast Asia aquariums, one of the biggest in Southeast Asia. Um, while I miss going to the beach a lot in Panglao, that's one thing that I'm very proud of Bohol. While we don't have those white beaches, long shorelines in Singapore, but if you're a party kind of person, I can bring you to Sentosa Island. Um, it's quite happening. A lot of Caucasians, it's their favorite hangout place. So if you want to party to the beach, then I can bring you over there. If you are more into slightly nature, we have botanic gardens. So, oh, something that I mean, a place that I missed my mom bringing over. We didn't get the chance, but it's quite beautiful. um, yeah, I mean, you can also go to like a night safari. Um, and lastly, Sir Warren, if you are the type of person who loves shopping, I would like to believe that Singapore is the place to be for that. I can bring you to this place called Orchard. So if you want to be the first in line to get the latest trends in the market, then yeah, come over to Singapore. I could have missed. I missed one more thing. Your Singapore visit will not be complete without having a picture of the merlion. You
Summer
know that.
lights.
Yeah,
The
the
symbol of
statue
Singapore.
that it's Singapore, like the head of. It's like a head of a lion, and then the body of a fish that symbolizes the old Singapore days being fishing village.
And since you mentioned about transferring from one place to the other, I'd like you to share to me your Asian continent adventures. That's the beauty of your Singapore stay because you had easy access to some of the neighboring Asian countries with,
Right.
of course, lovey-dovey. So where have you been? Where have you gone? What were the other countries you have visited? So of course, Malaysia. You've been there. Um, Thailand, Indonesia,
Yes.
Japan. You've been to Japan, right?
I've been to Japan. Luckily, before this whole pandemic, yeah, I was in Osaka and Kyoto last February. So that was my last trip for 2020.
I know. I am sure that you're in Japan because I saw one of your pictures with the cherry blossoms in the background. You're so lucky. That's definitely an entry in my bucket list to be able to witness the cherry blossom, the blossoming of the cherry blossom tree. And you already did it. You experienced it. You witnessed it. And I'm still about to do it. So, how about Korea? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I've been to Korea. That was October last year, and then Vietnam. Where else? Hong Kong, Macau, Cambodia. So I've been like I've really been like patronizing the neighboring countries at the same time. But I think one of the most memorable trips I had was in 2018 when I went to the UK, London, and then I get to visit Europe as well, Italy, and then France. So you know, Emily in Paris is quite nostalgic.
Do it for
And then
do it for business. Your European travel was it?
that was purely a holiday. Um, when I work in Singapore, one of my goals is really to be able to travel. So I save up a lot for that trip. And I, the trip in Italy was the most memorable, I should say, given that, being a Catholic, for you to be able to visit the Vatican, it's just a real and then once in a lifetime experience. I didn't expect that, but it happened. So I'm quite grateful for that opportunity.
You're correct, Jeff. And I don't know if you know this, but the Vatican City is the seat of the Roman Catholic religion.
Right.
So I can really consider you a full-fledged Catholic by now because you have visited. So,
And I had the best sunset
yes, I'm
in
so
Florence.
huh?
Yeah, I had the best. I was saying I had the best sunset in Florence,
It,
and Venice was also a beautiful place to visit. Yeah, we just have to patronize and then promote our own tourism as well.
right. Thank you, Jeff, for still considering our native land, the Philippines, to be the number one in your heart. But earlier, however, I can say you really did your assignment because you sounded like a Singaporean tour guide. You were so in Singapore, considering the number of years that you're there. Jeff, thank you very much for all the useful information. And to my subscribers who requested for this, so okay, so it's already fulfilled, it's already checked, and just have to wait for me to
Who
upload.
requested, by the way?
No, I
Who
cannot
requested?
enumerate all of them, but there were like 20 plus subscribers who requested that I would be guesting someone who is based in Singapore, a Filipino who's based in Singapore.
Okay,
And
okay,
then
I
there's
got you.
another one also, but I'll tell you later. It's gonna be off the record.
Okay.
But if you in the person or in the Philippines, take care and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
You too, Sir Warren, and thanks for the chance to be your guest. So to all the subscribers of Sir Warren, stay safe, guys. Stay healthy always. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.